Hey guys, Drew from Misfit Athletics. We've got a nice little private open prep session going on this weekend at Misfit HQ with the ladies China Cho and Mackenzie Riley. I really wanted to work with both of them on their Olympic lifting, and then it popped into my head. They're almost polar opposites in terms of the style of lifting that I want them to do. So I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to both work with them and shoot a video to talk to athletes about whether you should be relying a little bit more on leverage or a little bit more on like really actively pulling onto the bar in these really solid squat positions. And so much of it crosses over, but I think you'll notice in the video that there's a lot of nuance between the two, and you can kind of try to figure out whether you're this side, that side, or maybe somewhere in the middle. So essentially the difference between the lifting styles that I would recommend for you two is, with you, it's about essentially starting from a bottom position, maybe even we can play with it feet out a little bit, the toes, so that you can get your knees out of the way and still stay pretty upright, because this position for someone who doesn't have as much leverage is more important. Okay. So when you're watching online, you're watching like Hook Grip or any of those accounts, you notice that the really big people get a ton of leverage, tall essentially. Tall people get a ton of leverage, where the angle between here and here is huge. So they're using torso whip and still keeping the bar close. And that's when you'll have someone like Travis be like, well, no, everybody goes to power position. But they're so good that they are like here. You can see a little bit under their heels, but they still extend.
I feel like I have a really hard time getting to a power position.
Yeah, so with your lifting style, that should be the priority. Okay. Having your heels down. Okay. Because if you're not relying on this, you're relying on the fact that your distance here is shorter.
Yes.
So when you get to this position here, we don't need this. We don't need you to go here because you don't have to travel as far. Yeah. So when you get to this position, what I'm looking for is momentary, get under the bar, be done. Okay. With China, I'm looking for torso whip combined with the bar being swept back. Okay? And that timing piece is super important, and the difference is with the leverage style lifting, you need to have your butt come up more, but the danger is the knees come in sometimes. And when the knees come in and I try to turn over, it's not as natural of a squat.
My butt comes up and it probably shouldn't.
Your butt shouldn't come up anywhere near as much.
Okay.
That's why you'll notice that the smaller lifters have their knees way out. Okay. And sometimes their feet ducked out a little bit, because we still need a straight bar path. So if you're here and you go like this, the bar's gonna run into you. But if you're here,
I feel like I
and
put
you
my
go
feet,
like that.
What if my feet are wider? I mean, I don't do any lifting. Like, I'm always out here, like any setup for really anything. Is that gonna be okay for this?
It's gonna be okay if you hit the position we're looking for, essentially.
If you put me in, I don't feel very strong here as much as I feel strong.
Yeah, so I think that part of that is why the feet are out in that position. So I'm gonna have you bring your feet in, not like a lot. Like, where would you normally stand in your setup? Right there. Like that? Here. So why don't you just turn your heels in a little bit? Just a little.
Like,
yeah.
More than that?
Yeah, so bottoms up start, still.
Okay. Wait, you want me to do this like right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So get into your bottom position, there. Pull up into tension like you would as if there were, no, just like
your setup.
Exactly.
If there was weights on a bar, how would you set up?
So
your butt would be that low?
No.
There you go.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's what we don't want to do. Let's get some plates on there.
Shit. It's too low. It's too low. It's not really what I do. Okay.
You should be comfortable holding positions with whatever weight you have on there.
55.
Nothing's too light as long as it's accurately putting your position in.
Okay. But it's also not going to push me down.
So while you set this up, we can still go. I still really like the bottoms up setup, because that does a really good job of teaching people to drive up through their feet instead of like let their butt fly up. So as she's coming up, you're gonna notice that her knees are gonna be pushing back more than Kenzie's. But the danger, again, is we don't want any internal rotation of the hip. And as you can see here, with her body type, we get more of this leverage position, and that's what we're looking for. But the skill in this now is, how do I whip my torso without the barbell coming out here.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of that's about this position, and a lot of it is about just patience.
Yeah.
Just knowing the positions that you have to get into. So, back to you.
Okay, so
Bottoms up start. So the way that I want you to, yeah, exactly. The way that I want people to do the bottoms up start is to literally drop into the bottom of the squat and then grab the bar.
this is so narrow.
I don't like that.
This is not really squat.
I don't do that.
Like your feet?
Yeah.
Well, you won't squat there. You'll still move your feet
No,
when
I'm
you
saying
snatch.
being squatted down right now
Yeah.
is not comfortable. But I will do it for you too. Okay.
Tight is strong, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
All right.
That's
So,
what she said.
Tight as fuck. Sherman's strong as fuck then.
not true. Okay. So to get into the position we're looking for, we just need to take the slack out of the arms. So shoulders up into that position right there.
Do you want more? This is tension.
Yeah, that's good. So as you're coming up, it's so much more about knees out than knees back, because that is going to make it easier to get to power position.
Okay. So do you want to like
go,
stand or?
go to your knee with being obsessed with knees out. Now from that position, it's way easier to get to power position. Now go back down. Go back down to the floor.
Oh, sorry.
And I want you to do it wrong by pushing your knees back more. Notice how much further you would have to go to get to power position now, how much more you'd have to get your knees to bend to come out in front.
Yeah.
You want to feel in the low hang like, oh, I wish I could get my knees back out in front.
Okay, so you want to drive knees out.
Knees out.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I want you to play around with it. Whatever would be comfortable for you to work through it. So
Okay.
the positions that we're hoping for are knees out at the knee, and then get back there.
Burn it up. Burn it up. Okay.
So yeah, what's going to be a challenge if you're working on this is
It's gonna be wider.
you're going to have to, as you work through positions, holding this stuff is going to be hard, especially if it's new.
Yeah, that was intense for a second. Okay.
So when you go back though,
this toes out thing is the.
when you get to power position, and we can decide whether that's good or not.
Okay. I
When
think that's
you
what's making
get
it
to power position, you're still over the bar a little bit.
Okay.
And if you do that, then that's when this happens.
What do you? So what?
So
where
when-
should I be? Should I
When
be
you're
thinking
here,
chest up or?
I want this. You
Okay.
just scoot back and feel like you're in this
So
position.
knees out, chest
You
up.
posted a photo of yourself at Wadapalooza
Yeah.
in the perfect
Was that good?
power position.
95 pounds.
Like
Woo!
perfect.
Okay.
So once you're here, I want you to be done with the concept of being out over the bar. I want
Okay.
you to get back to here because we're working on that style of lift.
Knees out, chest up.
Yes.
See if those.
Be obsessed with like up, even though at this position it feels like you don't want to be.
Okay. I'm just not sure where to put my toes right now.
Try both.
Because I think this is what's making it so burning.
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyways, okay, so. Is that knees out or no?
Yeah, no, see, everything's good there. You're just not quite done with getting to power position. Because
Okay.
from right there, you haven't got your shoulders back behind the bar yet. Better?
Oh, okay.
Essentially what you're, from like a side view, what I'm seeing is you're going from here to here.
Okay.
I want you from here
In my heel.
to here.
So drive knees.
Knees in
Knees
front,
out,
shoulders
okay.
behind.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're relying on a squat position. Squat, 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 squat the whole time.
Okay.
Knees out, knees out, knees out.
So,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
That was less fiery in my quads.
All right. You work on this over here. China, you're up. I don't know if you want plates on here or not. It's up to you.
You can use this.
No, I want to use this.
All right, so essentially same thing. Let's just work through that first pull. And I want you to get into a really good position of leverage out over the bar, but without this thing happening.
I know I have that problem. Okay, so what do I do?
Just go up to your knee, creating that position. You can probably still get your knees back even more.
Oh, back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good? So now from that position, we need that same thing that she's working on,
be here?
where as you come up, your knees are forward and your shoulders are back. That's what we're looking
Oh,
for.
so the initial is knee back and then it's knee forward.
Yes, as you pass your knee, that's when
it's
you get to
here.
move them back.
To here?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And obviously these things are so similar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but so different.
No, the knees back is so different than hers.
They're so similar but so different. They're very nuanced. And saying that there's 2 styles of lifting is stupid because think about the millions of different body
but the
types,
first pull is
arm lengths.
so important. Like
Exactly.
it's the most important part of the entire freaking lift.
It is.
Because if you fuck it up, you're fucked.
Yeah, and so many people wonder like, well, why do I need my knees out? And it's like, well, under tension, it's hard to get them back there. And if we have to squat in a squat clean, and we have to squat in a squat snatch, we have to be there. But with
That's why I'm better from the hang.
with
on the
you,
snatch.
with leverage,
Yeah.
it's very subtle.
Yeah.
When you're a taller athlete, it's very subtle, but it's still like I can feel a lot right now. It's
More,
like
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
whereas it might not look as much different, but you being all the way out here, like that's
completely different.
That's different for sure.
All right.
And the funny thing is, this is a good laugh for everybody. Haha, Drew has small hands. I can't really be a leverage lifter because I can't extend. So even though I'm tall,
Because you can't hold on.
I can't hold on to the bar. So I have to go
This is Drew's
like
emoji.
like that. I'm just gonna.
That's a good one.
I'm not gonna show you guys my hands, all right?
They've seen them.
Now we're just
I have that
They've
video
all
still
seen
on
it.
my phone.
now we're
They've
just
all
Along
seen
with
them.
Jordan Crook.
So what about does this change the hang? Because that's where we're going to apply this to. This from floor, but from the hang does this
For you, yes. So for you,
knees out
She's
going
more
down?
upright,
Or
right? I mean,
exactly.
she's just a
Yes,
little more upright at the start versus
that's one of the ways that would be
leverage
really easy visually to see
Well,
it. Is
and
you
I
guys
can
working from the
tell.
hang? Is you would be here and you would be more like this.
Her knees would be slightly more forward and my shins would be more vertical. in the
Absolutely,
hang position,
yeah.
correct?
But you still need to have a straight bar path, and that's why it's like knees out, out, out,
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
out,
This
out,
is
out.
why I feel like I have to stick my, like I feel like I'm more, this might be bad, this might be wrong, but I feel like I'm broken here and I'm not so like straight lined here. I feel like I have to keep my chest up and stick my butt back, so I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
you
as,
could
like-
combat that by sticking your knees out more.
Okay.
You could be on more here as opposed to relying
So
on
that-
getting way
because
behind.
you sit down more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I just
mean?
feel like I have a broken, a broken core because I have to keep my, because if I go forward, it's not going to work. So I have to
Yeah,
like,
but that, yeah.
yeah.
And keep in mind, if you're not relying on leverage, the rules for how low you go are not the same.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
she goes lower, she gets more leverage, and that's what she's relying on for
Yep.
speed. With you, you're relying on, I want to be back here every time so that
So you're
it's
higher,
simple.
yeah.
Everything is simple.
Okay.
I'm not relying on extension, I'm relying on actively pulling under the bar. Yeah.
Okay.
That totally made sense to me.
Like he knows what he's talking about or something.
All right, guys, so we went over what I call the leverage style and the power style. You'll notice with Kenzie on the power style that we're really, really, really pushing that knees out situation. You'll notice with China that we're really pushing some of the same kind of stuff, but we're allowing her to get her knees back and getting out over the bar a little bit more, with the danger being that we have to make sure that we keep the bar nice and close, which is easier in the power style. So hopefully from the video and from watching them, you guys can see what the difference is and maybe figure out where you should be. See you next time.